The stars blinked above like distant eyes, watching in silence. The human ship, marked with deep scratches and burns, tumbled through space, leaking smoke and broken light. Inside, Pilot Ryan held the controls tight, his face pale, his breath shallow. Alarms screamed around him. Last thing he saw was a green planet growing larger on his screen, then dashed darkness. When Ryan woke up, it was not the cold metal of his ship around him. It was soft, too soft. He tried to move, but his body felt heavy, as if it had turned to stone. A warm light touched his face. He blinked. The ceiling above him glowed softly, made of smooth, curved lines like a giant shell. Strange plants with glowing tips stood in the corners. He was not alone. A tall figure stood beside his bed, watching him closely. She had blue skin and long white hair that flowed like water. Her eyes were silver, glowing slightly, and full of calm. Her face had no fear. Instead, it held something else: concern. "You are awake," she said softly. Her voice was music, gentle, like a song whispered by the wind. Ryan blinked again, trying to speak, but only a small sound escaped. His throat was dry, his lips cracked. "Water," she said, and lifted a smooth glass to his lips. The drink was cool and sweet. Not water, but close. Ryan swallowed slowly, each drop easing the fire in his throat. "Where?" His voice broke. "You are safe," she said. "You crashed. Your ship was found by the Watchers. They brought you here. I am Liari. I will care for you." Ryan looked into her eyes. They didn't shine with curiosity or fear like many aliens he had met before. There was only kindness. "What planet is this?" he asked. "This is Enar," she answered. "Our home. You are far from human space." He tried to sit up, but pain stabbed his side. Liari gently placed a hand on his chest. "Don't move yet," she said. "You have injuries. Your ribs are cracked. Your leg is broken. Your blood was weak, but we fixed much of it. You must rest." Ryan closed his eyes. Her hand was warm. Not hot like some aliens, not cold like machines, just warm like home. He didn't know how long he slept. Time passed slowly in that place. Every time he woke, Liari was there. Sometimes standing, sometimes sitting, always watching quietly. She never asked questions, never pushed him to speak. She brought him strange fruits that tasted like honey and soup that smelled of wild herbs. Began to feel stronger. One day he opened his eyes and found her humming. She stood by a round basin washing cloths with glowing liquid. "That song," he said weakly. "What is it?" She turned, surprised he had spoken. "A healing song," she said. "My mother sang it to me when I was sick." "It's nice," he said. She gave a small smile and returned to her work. That night he dreamed of stars falling, of fire and smoke and pain. He saw his ship breaking apart. He saw Face's friends, lost, gone. He turned in his bed, groaning. Then a soft hand touched his forehead. "It's just a dream," Liari whispered. "You are safe." Her voice cut through the storm in his head. The nightmare faded like smoke. Ryan opened his eyes and saw her face close to his. Silver eyes, watching him, soft and calm. "Thank you," he said. "You are healing," she said. "Your body still remembers the pain, but it will pass." In the days that followed, Ryan began to speak more. He told her his name, his ship's name, his mission. Liari listened, but never judged. She told him about Enar, about the tall glowing trees that sang in the wind, the rivers that carried light, and the sky beasts that danced during storms. Ryan listened like a child hearing fairy tales. "Why did you help me?" he asked once. Liari tilted her head. "Why would we not? Some species. They don't help humans," Ryan said. "They fear us or hate us. We do not fear," she said softly. "Not all humans are enemies. We see what is inside, not just the face." Ryan looked away. "I've seen war. It makes people forget how to see inside." "Then let your eyes rest here," Liari said. She said it so simply, yet it touched him. The first time he stood up, he nearly fell. Liari caught him with ease, one arm around his back. Her strength surprised him. "Easy," she said. "You are not ready to fly." "Guess I'll walk before I fly," he joked. She smiled again, and for a moment forgot the pain. That night, Ryan lay in the soft bed, staring at the curved ceiling. He thought about home, about the stars, about how far he was from everything. He knew, but he didn't feel alone. Outside, wind moved through the tall trees, making them hum like quiet voices. Inside, Liari sat beside him, reading something on a glowing screen. His eyes closed slowly. Sleep pulled him down like a wave. In the edge of his dream, he saw her again, her eyes, her voice. And then, softly, in his sleep, he whispered a name. Ryan woke up slowly. The room was quiet. A soft glow from the walls made everything look calm. He turned his head and saw Liari sitting beside him, just as she had the night before. Her hands were folded in her lap, and her silver eyes were watching him with a soft look. He blinked and tried to remember the dream he had, but it faded too quickly. Only one thing stayed in his mind: he had spoken. Words had slipped out of his mouth while he was sleeping. Something important. But he didn't know what. Before he could ask, Liari leaned a little closer and smiled. "You said my name in your sleep," she whispered. Ryan froze. His cheeks warmed. "I did." "What?" She nodded gently. "You said it clearly, like it mattered." He didn't know what to say. Her words filled the quiet air around them. It wasn't teasing. It wasn't strange. It was soft, almost like she was glad. "I guess it's stuck in my head," he mumbled. "Names are powerful," Liari said. "They hold more than just sound. They hold memory." She stood and walked toward the table, bringing back a bowl with warm fruit pieces. "You need to eat," she said. "Your strength is returning, but not fast enough." Ryan sat up slowly, leaning against the soft wall behind him. He took the bowl from her hands and smiled. "Thank you." They ate in silence. For a moment. Then Ryan said, "You've taken care of me this whole time. Haven't left once." "You noticed?" Liari replied softly. "Hard not to," he said. "You're the first face I see every morning." Liari didn't respond to that. She looked down, brushing her fingers along the edge of the bed. "Do you miss your people?" "Yes," Ryan said without thinking. "But it's strange. I don't feel as lost as I should. Being here with you, it's not what I expected. I thought aliens would treat humans like threats or trophies. But you treated me like someone who matters." Liari raised her eyes. "You do matter?" Those words hit something deep in Ryan's chest. For a while, no one had said that to him, not even back home. Later that day, Liari showed him how to walk with a cane. She guided him through a quiet hallway inside the healing dome. Walls were curved, glowing faintly with flowing lines like vines. The floor was soft underfoot. Ryan held onto her shoulder as they walked, one slow step at a time. "This place is peaceful," he said. "We built it that way," Liari said. "No machines that buzz too loud. No sharp edges. Healing must happen inside and outside." Outside the dome, Ryan saw the world for the first time. Tall, glowing trees swayed in the wind. Leaves shimmered with green and silver light. Small creatures floated in the air, glowing like stars. A river nearby made a soft musical sound as it flowed past rocks that shone with blue light. "It's beautiful," he said. "We try to keep it alive," Liari said. "Even when war comes close." Ryan looked at her. "You've had war here?" "It's not often," she said. "But sometimes the stars bring fire. It's my crash." "One of those." "Fires?" he asked quietly. "No," Liari said. "Your fire was different. You came alone." They sat near the river for a while. Liari picked up a small stone and handed it to him. It was smooth and warm. "Keep it," she said. "It remembers who held it." "Really?" he asked. She smiled. "We believe that everything remembers, even stones." Ryan put it in his pocket. The sun set, though it looked more like a golden moon glowing behind clouds. Ryan looked up. "I used to think space was just black," he said, "cold and empty. But now?" Liari asked. "Now I know there are places like this, warm. Places and people like you." The days passed slowly, but Ryan grew stronger. He began walking on his own. He explored more of the dome, sometimes helping carry light items, other times just watching the Inari work. They didn't speak much, but they always nodded at him. They accepted him like he belonged. One evening, as he sat by a large window looking at the sky, Liari sat beside him. "You don't ask many questions," he said. "I wait for answers," she replied. Ryan laughed softly. "That's not a human way. Maybe that's why it works," she said. He turned to her. "What if I asked something now? Then I would listen." He looked into her eyes. "Why do you stay with me?" "Healer. I was just a broken stranger." Liari's voice was calm. "When I saw you, I felt something. A pull. Not fear. Not duty. A feeling that I needed to be near." Ryan didn't answer. He didn't know how to. That night, sleep came slowly. The stars outside the window blinked in soft patterns. Ryan turned in bed, holding the warm stone in his hand. He thought about Earth, his old crew, the crash. Then he thought about Liari. He remembered the way she said his name. It's the way she smiled without laughing. It's the way her eyes held quiet strength. As his eyes closed, he felt safe. Ryan walked through the healing dome without a cane for the first time. His steps were slow, but steady. Every movement reminded him how much progress he had made. Not long ago, he couldn't lift his arm or sit up on his own. Now he walked under the glowing arches of the dome. Nodding at the Inari workers who passed with quiet smiles, he reached the garden where he and Liari had walked days ago. The sun filtered through the leaves in gentle waves. Ryan found a stone bench and sat down with a deep breath. The breeze carried a sweet smell from the nearby fruit trees. The air on this planet always felt clean, like it had never been touched. By war behind him, soft footsteps approached. He didn't need to turn. He knew it was her. "You walked alone today," Liari said, standing beside the bench. "Barely," Ryan said with a small grin. "I almost fell 3 times. You didn't," she said. He looked up at her and smiled. "You're proud of me, aren't you?" "Very," she said. She sat beside him, folding her hands in her lap. They sat in silence for a while, watching a pair of small glowing creatures fly past. They danced in the air like floating lights, leaving a soft trail behind them. "I had a strange dream last night," Ryan said finally. "What did you dream?" Liari asked. "I was flying again," he said. "Not in a ship, just me. Through the stars. I could hear voices calling my name, but yours was the clearest. It felt like it was pulling me somewhere safe." Liari looked at him, her eyes soft. "Dreams tell us what our hearts want," Ryan chuckled. "Then my heart wants to stay here, I guess. Does it surprise you?" "A little," he said. "I'm a soldier. I've spent most of my life following orders, fighting, surviving. Peace was always something far away, something other people talked about but never touched." "And now?" she asked. "Now I've touched it," he said, "and I'm not sure I want to let go." They walked back to the dome together. They passed under a vine-covered arch. A young Inari child ran past, chasing a floating creature. The child paused, saw Ryan, and smiled shyly before running off again. "They're not afraid of me," Ryan said. "They see what I see," Liari said. He looked at her. "What do you see?" "Someone who came from fire but chose not to burn everything around him." His heart skipped. No one had ever spoken to him like that before. Inside the dome, Liari showed him a new room. It was smaller, with a round bed, a window that looked out over the forest, and soft lights that responded to movement. "This will be your space now," she said. "My own room?" he asked. "Am I being kicked out of the healing bed?" She smiled. "You're no longer a patient. You are a guest." "What if I want to stay longer?" he asked. "Then this room will stay yours," she said. He looked around slowly. The place felt warm, safe, like it belonged to him already. Later that night, Ryan stood by the window. Stars blinked above. He thought about Earth, about the military base where he trained, about the cold barracks and loud drills. None of it felt real anymore. It was like a shadow of another life. Then he heard a soft knock. "Come in," he said. Wire stepped inside, carrying a small device that played gentle sounds music from her world. I thought you might like company, she said. Always, Ryan said. She placed the device near the window and sat beside him on a low bench. The music filled the air like a soft breeze, flowing around them. I don't understand the words, Ryan said, but the feeling is clear. It's a song about light finding its way home, Liari said. Ryan looked at her. Is that what you think I'm doing? Finding my way home? Maybe, she said. Or maybe you've already found it? Their eyes met. There was no rush. No need for big words. The silence between them was full of meaning. You know, he said quietly, when you told me I said your name in my sleep, it scared me a little. Why? She asked. Because it meant something, he said. You're not just a nurse to me anymore. You never were. But now, no, it's different. It is, she agreed. I think about you when I wake up. I look for you when I walk the halls. I listen for your voice even when you're not around, he said. She reached out and gently touched his hand. And I listen for yours. He squeezed her hand gently. I don't know what's ahead. Maybe I'll be found by my people. Maybe I'll leave. Maybe not. But I want you to know. Being here with you is the first time I felt like more than just a soldier. To me, Liari said softly, you've never been just a soldier. The stars outside blinked on, one by one, lighting the sky like distant fireflies. And in that small room, with music flowing and hearts speaking, without fear, two souls, one human, one Inara, sat together, no longer strangers, no longer broken. The days passed quietly. Ryan's body grew stronger, and his steps no longer needed help. He joined the Inari in daily work, helping gather glowing herbs, carrying water from the river, and learning how to blend healing oils. The Inari people welcomed him like family. No one looked at him with suspicion or fear. It was the first time in years he felt truly at peace, but peace never lasted forever. One morning, while Ryan was picking fruit near the edge of the forest, a small Inari scout ran into the garden with urgency, spoke fast to the elders in their soft language. Ryan didn't understand every word, but he recognized the worry in their faces. Lyrie came quickly to find him. Ryan, she said, her voice lower than usual. There's something you need to see. She led him to the communication chamber, quiet, glowing room with a round table in the center. The screen on the wall showed a blinking red light and a set of human symbols. A distress signal, Ryan asked. No, Liari said. A scan signal from a human scout ship. It entered our outer sky last night. It's searching for something. Ryan stared at the signal. The code was military. Not just human, but from his own division. They're looking for me, he said. We believe so, Liari replied. Your crash may have left traces. Now they are here. Ryan's hands tightened into fists. If they land, they won't. Understand your people. They'll see unknown life forms and treat you like enemies. We know, Liari said calmly. That is why we came to you first. You're asking me to stop them? We're asking you to decide, she said. He sat down slowly. Everything felt like it was breaking again. He had felt safe here. Now, his old life was coming back with ships and scanners and orders. If they land and see me with you, he said, they'll think I've been captured. They'll try to rescue me by force. Will they listen to your words? Liari asked. Ryan shook his head. Maybe, maybe not. It depends on the commander. They'll follow standard procedure first. Weapons ready. No trust. You must choose, she said. Warn them. Protect us from being seen. He looked at her. I don't want to leave you. We don't want to lose you, she said gently. That night, Ryan stood by the river, holding the warm stone. Liari had given him. It still carried her warmth, and maybe her hopes too. The stars above were silent, but they felt closer than ever. He made his choice. Before sunrise, he slipped into the forest alone. He didn't tell Liari. He didn't want her to stop him. He carried a small beacon with him, one the Inari had helped repair. He planned to reach high ground and send a false signal. something that would lead the human scouts in the wrong direction. The climb was steep. His legs burned. Old injuries screamed. But he kept going. At the top of the ridge, he placed the beacon between two rocks and activated it. The light blinked strong, clear, and fake. It pointed toward the far side of the planet, away from the Inari village. He turned to leave. A noise made him stop. A human drone hovered above the trees, scanning. Ryan ducked behind a rock. Too late. It had seen movement. "Identify," the drone ordered in a cold voice. Ryan stood slowly and raised both hands. "Pilot Ryan Hale, serial number 729A15. I'm alive." The drone paused, confirming identity. "Confirmed. Extraction in progress," Ryan said quickly. "Do not send retrieval. I'm safe. Do not approach this region." "Orders require confirmation from command," the drone replied. Ryan sighed. "Of course they do." Within an hour, a small human scout ship landed nearby. The two soldiers stepped out, armored and alert. Their weapons were not raised, but their hands hovered near the triggers. "Hello," one of them called. "Yeah," Ryan said, stepping into view. "I'm fine. I crashed, but I was rescued. This planet is peaceful. I need you to leave. You're out of line," the soldier said. "We're here to bring you home." "No," Ryan said. "Not this time. Listen to me. There are people here. They're not dangerous. They saved my life. If you come near their home, it'll only bring trouble." "We have orders," the second soldier said. "You're a missing pilot. We can't leave you behind." "I'm not behind," Ryan said. "I'm ahead. I found something better than war, better than missions. I found peace." "Don't ruin that. We can't ignore this," the first soldier said. "Headquarters will ask questions." Reached into his pack and pulled out a data chip. "This has a full report," he said. "Tell them I died. Tell them you found the wreckage and nothing else. Let me stay here. Let these people stay hidden."
How the soldiers looked at each other.
"Are you sure?"
One of them asked. "Yes,"
Ryan said. "This is where I belong." After a long silence, they nodded. "We'll take the chip," the soldier said. "But if anyone else comes, we can't stop them." "I'll be ready," Ryan said. As the ship lifted off, Ryan stood alone on the ridge, watching it disappear into the sky. His legs shook, but not from fear. He had made his choice, and now he had to return to the one who mattered most. Ryan walked back through the forest, his body tired, but his heart steady. The sun had risen above the tall, glowing trees, casting soft light on the path. He carried no weapon. Only the warm stone Liari had given him, and the memory of what he had done. He had sent his own people away now. Only one thing mattered, turning to her. The journey back to the Inari village felt longer than before. Every step reminded him of the choice he made. He had turned away from his old life, not because he hated it, but because he had found something more important, something peaceful, something worth protecting. When he reached the edge of the forest, he saw Liari standing near the river. Her back was to him. She was looking out over the water, the wind moving through her white hair. She didn't hear him approach. "You always know where to find peace," he said quietly. She turned slowly. Her eyes widened with relief. "You're back," she said, walking toward him. "I had to go," Ryan said. "I couldn't risk them." "Coming too close? You could have told me," she said, her voice soft. "I didn't want you to worry," he replied. "I worried anyway," she said. He smiled a little. "I know." They walked together through the garden, past the glowing plants and humming trees. Ryan told her everything about the drone, the scout ship, the soldiers, and his decision. He left nothing out. "You gave them a report saying you died?" she asked. "Yes," Ryan said. "It's the only way to keep them away. They'll believe it. The crash was real. They'll say I was lost in the wreck." Liari looked at him. With quiet strength, "You chose us." "I chose you," he said. They stopped under a tall tree with silver leaves. Ryan leaned against the trunk and looked up at the sky. "I don't know what happens next," he said. "Not unless you ask me to." "I won't," she whispered. For the next few days, the village returned to its peaceful rhythm. Ryan helped the Inari gather herbs, clean the gardens, and fix tools. He learned how to blend healing oils using crushed stones and glowing roots. The Inari taught him with patience, and he learned with care at night. He and Liari sat together outside the dome, looking up at the stars. Sometimes they spoke, sometimes they didn't. The silence between them was never empty. One evening, Liari brought him a gift. It was a small necklace made of tiny stones, each one glowing with a soft color. "What's this?" Ryan asked. "Stones of memory," she said. "Each one holds a moment." "What moments?" "The first time you opened your eyes, the first time you walked, the first time you laughed," she said. "I saved them." Ryan held the necklace. In his hands, it felt warm. "You remembered all that?" "Yes," she said. "Then I'll remember this moment too," he said, and placed the necklace around his neck. The next morning, Ryan woke early. The light through the window painted soft shapes on the walls. He stretched, feeling stronger than ever. Something was different. He could feel it. When he stepped outside, he saw Liari and several elders gathered near the main dome. They looked serious. One of them held a small glowing device. "What's happening?" Ryan asked. "A message," Liari said. "It's from the stars." Ryan's heart sank. "Is it them?" "No," she said. "This one is different. Unknown. The signal is weak. But it's coming from a ship, and it's coming this way." "How long?" 3 days, she said. Ryan looked at the elders. "What will you do?" "We wait," one of them said calmly, "but we prepare." The next few days were filled with quiet work. The Inari hid their important supplies deep in the forest. They created shields of mist to hide the village from the sky. Ryan helped build shelters underground, places where the children could stay safe. He didn't sleep much. His mind was full of worry. Stayed close to him. "We don't know who's coming," she said, "but we know we're not alone anymore." On the evening before the ship was expected to arrive, Ryan and Liari stood at the top of the hill. Near the village, the stars were bright, and a new one blinked in the distance. "That's it," he said. "The ship. Do you think they'll find us?" she asked. "Maybe," he said. "But if they do, they'll have to go through me first." She reached for his hand. "You're not alone." He held her hand tightly. "I know." The night was silent, except for the soft hum of the trees and the slow heartbeat of the world beneath their feet. They stood side by side, waiting not for war, but for whatever came next. The ship came quietly through the clouds. It wasn't large like a battleship, nor small like a scout. It moved like it belonged to no one, without any signs or flags. The Inari watched from hidden places, their hearts calm but alert. Ryan stood near the garden edge, eyes fixed on the sky. Liari stood beside him, her hand close to his. The ship hovered above the trees, then lowered gently near a clearing just outside the village border. No weapons fired, no alarms, only silence. "They're not human," Ryan said softly. "The design's different. No human ship floats like that." "Do you know who they are?" Leah asked. "No," he said, "but we'll find out." Soft hiss broke the stillness as the ship's ramp lowered. 2 figures stepped out. They were tall, thin, with green-gray skin and long robes that shimmered in the light. Their eyes were large, but not unkind. One of them raised a hand in greeting. "We come in peace," the being said in soft, slow words. Ryan stepped forward. "Who are you?" "We are the Solari," the alien said. "We picked up a human distress signal some time ago." Then silence. "We followed the last trace." Ryan narrowed his eyes. "I sent a false beacon. It was supposed to send them away, not bring more." "We don't follow human orders," the Solari replied calmly. "We follow curiosity. We wanted to know why a human would stay silent after calling for help." "I didn't call for help," Ryan said. "I called for peace." The 2 aliens looked at each other. "We see that now," the second one said. "You are not a soldier anymore." "No," Ryan said. "I found something better." The Solari looked past him toward the hidden village. "We can sense life nearby," one of them said. "They fear us." They're protecting their home, Ryan said. They've seen what war does. They've seen what ships like yours can bring. We bring no harm, the first one said. Only questions. Ryan paused, then stepped aside, then asked, but speak with kindness. Liari stepped out from behind the trees. Her calm presence made the wind feel still. The Solari bowed their heads in respect. You are the one who healed him, the second alien said. Yes, Liari replied. I am his healer. And more, Ryan added softly. The Celery studied them both. We did not expect to find something like this, a bond between human and Inari. Neither did we, Liari said. What will you do now? The first alien asked. We can return your story to the stars, or we can leave it hidden. Ryan looked at Liari. She gave a small nod. Tell the stars the truth, Ryan said. But not all of it. Tell them a human found peace on a forgotten world. Tell them kindness saved him, not weapons. Will you ever return to your people? The second alien asked. Ryan looked at the glowing trees, the soft river, the faces of the Inari peeking out from their shelters. I am already home, he said. The Solari gave one final bow. Then we will go, and we will remember. As the ship lifted back into the sky, the clouds closed behind it like a curtain. The Inari stepped out slowly, returning to the open paths. The village returned to its breath, slow and calm. That evening, Ryan and Liari sat by the river once more. The wind carried the soft music of the forest. The sky turned gold and violet. They could have taken me, Ryan said, but you stayed, Liari replied. Always, he said. She looked at him, her silver eyes shining in the dim light. You gave them words that will reach other worlds. And I meant every word, Ryan said. You saved me, Liari. It's not just my body. You healed something deeper. She leaned closer. Do you remember the first night, when you said my name in your sleep? He smiled. I do. You said it again? Last night, she whispered. I say it every night, Ryan said. Sometimes in dreams, sometimes out loud. She reached for his hand and held it gently. I hear it. It's even when you don't speak. They sat like that until the stars returned. Not as soldiers, not as strangers, but as two souls who had crossed galaxies to find something no war could ever give: love, peace, and the quiet power of being seen. The world kept turning. The sky kept glowing. The name he once whispered in sleep became the truth he lived in every waking breath.